What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning PHP object-oriented programming. My name is QDS Danny, and you guys watching my channel Kroyowood. What I said in the previous video, we have done our parent, and we have a base class here. And if you observe here, we have used a parent with the scope resolution operator, and we are using the same method as engine. And you're looking here that if you want to display both, you can display both. All right, so what happens if you have static properties? Say, for example, if you have a static something there on top of parent, say, for example, if you have a public. So far, we haven't used the public with the functions, but keep in mind that from now on, we use the public access modifier here. So you can use the public with the functions, or you can use the private or protected. But if you don't use anything, then the PHP assumes that it's a public. So if we don't put a public, we just PHP assumes that's public. So, but we're going to get a little bit advanced now, but because we're going to use access modifiers as well. So we have a property, we're going to make property static, and we're going to have our functions going to be static as well. So we're going to have a property is going to be public static, so we're going to have some sort of property, and we're going to have a public static function. So this is just a normal function. This is not a static function. This is just a normal function. That's how we use. Say what happens if we use say, for example, you guys going to go in the office and your boss tells you to make a public some static functions between the base class and the child class. What are you going to do then? Then you're going to thinking that that's a normal function, that what I'm going to do, I'll have to bring a parent with the scope resolution operator to access this method here on top of the base class. So what happens if you see the public static, say for example static, say static property, say we put a static property or static method, our static variable, whatever. So I'm going to put this is a static property, for example. All right, so this is a static property, and we're going to declare one static functions as well. So we put a public static, we put a function, put a static, then we put a method. So we have one static property or variable, and we have one static method inside this base class. So we put a return because we're going to return, and what we're going to return, we're going to put a self. And keep in mind, we haven't used the self, we haven't used before here with the normal one, but this one we're going to put a self, because self referring to this class. So we're going to return self, and we're going to use this guy here. We're going to copy, we paste it here, and we put some sort of weird message. We put a for example, we put the same method here. Say for example, this static method, for example, we're going to copy that one, and we're going to put it here, and for example, we're going to put a concatenation operator, and we put this is static method. So the first one, it says that's a static property, and the second one says static method. So because we're going to see how we're going to access the two both. So the first one is a variable, our property, and this one we're going to access this one. We already know this ones because we have learned in our static. I think that was in this one. So we already know how to access our properties here. We already know how to do this. We already know about this. So this is it's not something that we don't know. So we already know this one, but we don't know this. Say for example, that's a new one. We put a concatenation operator here, but in this one we didn't see that one. Say for example, here we have our static, and we have our method here, but we use here with the self, and we put a username, for example. Now we're accessing our method. Okay, but the problem now this time is because we have a child class as well. So we increase our knowledge, and we increase our skills, and we're going to come here, we're going to put one static function here as well. So we put a public, we put a static, and we put a function, and we name our function, say for example child function, our say for example we put something. We're not going to put the same name as before. That was a different story, but now we're going to put a, say for example, child static method. We put a child static method. Now the fun begins. So now how we gonna echo our parent? Say for example, static methods of the parent. Say we can child static method, or we can put a, say for example, parent static method. Parent. I'm gonna change it to static method. Okay, so now we're gonna copy this one. We're gonna bring it here, and we put echo. We put a parent. We already know this parent, and we put the static method. What's the parent static method? That's how we're going to do that. All right, so now if you look in here, we are using the same one. So if you're putting a parent here, we are putting a parent, and we're putting engine. We're putting exactly the same one, but the only, because we already learned this one, this bit here, then in the previous video we have learned this bit here. So in the static we just putting it, combine it together. So we have learned something in the past, and we have learned something in the previous video. We are putting it all together and we make it static. So how we going to access this method in the child static method, because we already instantiated this class car, we already instantiated that one. So we're going to come here and we put a, say for example, engine obj, and we just put the name of the class child static method. We put a child static method. All right, so I'm going to explain again. We have a class vehicle, which is the base class. That's from the previous video that we accessed the same methods here, but now we have a property, which is static property. We should put some sort of weird message inside. You can put anything you guys like, and we have a method here which we call it parent static method, and this parent static method is gonna put something, say for example this static method, and here we have a child, and that one extends the base class, our parent class, and we have a static child static method, and we're going to echo the parent. This is the parent on top. That's the method here. So this is the method from the parent, and we're going to come here. We access our child static method, and we're going to see. But before that, we need to put some sort of breaks here. So I'm going to put a break. So I'm going to put a BR, and I'm going to put a BR as well. I put a BR, and BR. We're going to see what's the file number, invoke parent. We're going to come here and, for example, invoke parent. If you look in here, the first one is our static property. The second one is static method. And this is from the previous video, so we are not interested in the bottom ones, but the top one says static property and static method. So that's how we going to access our static properties or static methods in inheritance. So in inheritance we have say for example, if you have a static property, and we have a static methods, and that's how because we already know this one. This is very easy for us because we already practiced this one, but we don't know how we're going to come and do that inside the child class. In the child class you do exactly the same as every other, just like a normal how you access with the parent. So we put a parent, we put a scope resolution operator, and we put a method name. So the method name is on top. Here in this case we put a method name from the parent. Exactly we do with the static properties as well. So now we know that the normal ones, the static properties, are exactly the same when it comes to inheritance with the parents and child classes. So if you look at the result, you're going to see that we can see the static properties, the message, and we can see the static methods, and so between the parent class and the child class. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe CryoWood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.